Let's talk about one of my favorite and I think essential plugins for a WordPress.org site, and that is Jetpack. You install Jetpack in the same way that you install any other plugin. You go into the plugins interface, you do a search on the word Jetpack, and you install it from there. Once you have installed it, you connect it to WordPress.com because Jetpack is a plugin that is developed by Automatic, the company that develops WordPress. The reason that it was developed is because there are many features available in WordPress.com that are not available by default in WordPress.org, and they are very, very useful. For example, the statistics engine that I was just talking about, that you could use Google Analytics instead of, is part of Jetpack. When I go into a WordPress.com site, it is just a part of that system. If I go into my dashboard, I can, for example, show what my statistics are by going into Site Stats. When I click on Site Stats, it shows me how many people have visited my site. This particular site is not especially popular, and so I've only had 6 views all time, and that makes sense. I don't popularize this site. I don't share it with anybody. Maybe it will become more popular after this video, but in the meantime, there is nobody coming to this site. This statistics engine is incredibly useful. I can tell how many people have clicked on my links. I can tell what my top posts and pages are. I can tell who referred people to my site. I can tell what people were searching on in order to come to my site. But this is not a great example because there is not a lot of content here. If I go instead to my WordPress.org site in the site statistics area, you can see that my site statistics are much stronger. I have about 24,000 views all time, over 700 comments. The best day that I ever had was 384 views. I average somewhere between 50 and 100 views a day. If I scroll down, I can see what search engines sent people to my site. I use StumbleUpon in order to advertise my work, Pinterest.com in order to advertise my work. And if I open up search engine terms, I can see, for example, that people searched on emotional wall pics, Genmacha Utah, sketches of Fork, and other unknown search terms in order to get to my site. If I'm looking at the default, it's showing me today's search engine terms. But if I click on yesterday, you can see that somebody searched on Darth Maul. If I click on summaries, it gives me a much longer view of what people have searched on in order to get to my content. If I go, for example, to a quarter of a year view, I start to see what people are interested in, why they're coming to my site. I have an illustration of Ray Park, the actor who played Darth Maul in the Star Wars movies. I have a layout of my studio apartment that uses IKEA furniture. I have an illustration of the phrase potatoes going to potate. I have many pictures made of text. I have a diagram of a heart. And everything here in this list matches content that is on my site. It makes sense that somebody searched for it, they saw a preview of my image, they clicked through to my site, and the value of that is I end up knowing what drives people to my site, so I can make more of that kind of content and drive more people to my site. So while Google Analytics is perhaps a more powerful tool, the fact that Jetpack allows you to install, along with many other tools, a great site statistics engine is fantastic. Let's look at what else is in Jetpack. There's also Publicize, which allows me to connect my WordPress site to popular social networks and automatically share new posts with my friends. The benefit to this is the PR person's dilemma. If you are managing a Facebook page, as well as a Twitter page, as well as a Google Plus page or community, you may not want to visit 6 different sites in order to publicize the fact that you just put up a new post on your WordPress site. Publicize allows me to do that automatically. When I publish, because I have connected those social networks to my WordPress account, it allows me to automatically publish my content, my brand new content, to those social networks. I'll scroll down a little bit more. There is a post by email feature, which allows you to use email as an interface for creating your WordPress content. There is a spelling and grammar check, which I install everywhere, and this engine does a great job of reminding me about why I should not use passive voice, for example. The contact form, which is a part of every WordPress.com site, is included with Jetpack. If I want people to click on a Contact Me page and send me a note about potential business, I can use the contact form in order to do that. If you are a mathematician and you want to use LaTeX in order to mark up your posts, you can do that with Jetpack. If you are familiar with WordPress.com, you know that you can use shortcode embed codes in order to embed things like YouTube videos. That is sometimes a lot simpler than having to get the embed code from, let's say, a YouTube site and then bring that over and hoping that it works with WordPress. With shortcode embeds, it makes it a lot simpler to use YouTube videos, Vimeo videos, SlideShare slides, lots of other kinds of content. You can use Jetpack in order to allow you to customize your CSS, your cascading style sheets, which is the way that your site is styled. When we use themes, which we will talk about a little bit later, you will see that there is a default look and feel for each theme. If you want to modify that in any way, it's relatively difficult or will cost you if you do it on WordPress.com. When you have a WordPress.org site, there are many ways that you can do it. Custom CSS, a part of Jetpack, is an especially easy way to do that. One of the things that you may note after you're using WordPress for just a little while is that there are a lot of people who are familiar with WordPress and try to use that to their advantage and to your disadvantage. Let me explain. When I go into my email from time to time, I sometimes get a message from somebody who I do not know on my website, and it says, "Really great job on your post. Keep up the great work." By default, I have my WordPress sites set to check and let me know that somebody has posted a new comment, and it allows me to go in and determine whether or not it is a legitimate comment or whether or not it is spam. You might wonder, why would somebody want to put a comment on my site that was illegitimate? The reason is often because there is a link associated with their username, their email, and their comment. If you happen to click on that link, then you potentially get them advertising dollars or potentially compromise your security.